We are going to be doing something interesting today. We are going to be doing a Madden fantasy draft where we can only pick offensive players. Now, you may be thinking, didn't you already do this? You know, a few months ago? We did, but in that one, we filled out the offense and then we picked defensive players in the second half of the fantasy draft just so I didn't have to sign free agents and just end up cutting a ton of players on offense. In this one, for every single pick, we are going to have to pick an offensive player, even for the defensive side of the ball. So we're going to have to figure out who the best available players would be for each defensive position, even though they are offensive players. And for the first season of this, we're going to see how this team does in simulation. And then after this first season, we are going to treat this like a regular rebuild, and we're going to see how ridiculous we can make this team, because we should have an amazing offense, obviously, which is a great starting point. So by the end of this rebuild, this could end up being one of the best teams I've ever had. And of course, I am excited to get into this, so I'm going to keep this intro super short. The reason we are doing this is because we easily hit the like goal on, you know, the video I said we would do this for. And on the last video, I set the like goal to 1,200. So once again, if we can hit 1,200 likes, only if we hit it, I'll do a defensive one of these. So again, let me know y'all want to see that by, you know, dropping a like. It really helps out the channel, even though it sounds stupid, and I very much appreciate it. And of course, once we hit 25K on the channel, which we are very close to, and we are growing very quickly, but once we hit that, I have another very, very special video planned that's gonna be a long one, and I think y'all will enjoy it a ton. It's my favorite video idea I've ever had. And very last thing, let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have down below, because, you know, if I pick your idea, I'll give you a shout out if you care about that. But it also just helps me know what y'all want to see. But without further ado, let's get into this fantasy draft and let's see where we are picking. Okay, oh, I forgot to pick Snake Draft. Okay, maybe we won't actually have to get number 29. Okay, now we are all ready, I think, and we pick at number 18, which is definitely better than, you know, 29. Or 19, Miami pick 19. Are we 18 or 19? What is it? It says 18 there, and then I go here and it says Miami pick 19. Whatever. Ooh, CJ Stroud is still available. I don't know about picking him in the first round, but I did kind of want to go with a QB early. We'll think about that. And how we are going to do this, I forgot to mention, is I'm going to show our first 5 offensive picks, and then once our offensive, like, depth chart is fully filled out, like 2 QBs, 3 running backs, 6 receivers, all that, we'll go to defense, and we'll pick, you know, offensive players for our defense. And I'll show the first 5 of those. But with the first pick, I think we are going to take the best receiver available, and that is Davante Adams at a 98 overall. Is unfortunately stuck on the Raiders, so that isn't ideal. They've been better lately, but still. But welcome to the all-offense team, Davante Adams. Now, with our second pick, running back is really, really valuable in this game. And there are some good ones. There's Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor's here. And y'all know how I feel about Jonathan Taylor in this game. He is insane. I see him win AFC Offensive Player of the Year more often than not, so I think we'll hold off on running back for now. And CJ Stroud is still available. You know what? He's been amazing in real life. He isn't great in Madden, but with a crazy offense around him, we definitely could develop him. And he's only 21 years old with a hidden dev, so let's take him. Says it's a reach. I don't care. I like that pick. And what is a good offense without a good offensive line? So we are going to take a 99 overall in Trent Williams. We'll probably retire early on, but, you know, if we can get a 99 overall, why not? So Trent Williams, welcome to the all-offensive team. And unfortunately, Jonathan Taylor did get picked, but for some reason, Christian McCaffrey didn't get picked. I mean, he's 27, which is kind of old for a running back, but I don't know, he's more of a receiver than a running back, if anything. He isn't as good in this game as Jonathan Taylor is, but I won't complain. We'll take him. And last pick I'm going to show for now, we need a good tight end. I'm between Dallas Goedert and TJ TJ Hawkinson, but TJ Hawkinson is 2 years younger, so let's take him here. And now I'll fill out the rest of this offense, and then we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do for the defense. Okay, well, we picked the offense, and now it's time to figure out what we're gonna do for this defense. Thankfully, our offense looks very good. I mean, we have lots of A's, A pluses, A minuses, but something tells me this defense is gonna be a different story. So let me get on the good old Madden website, and we will see what offensive players look like they will be the best on defense. This should be fun. Okay, well, I think this is gonna sound insane, but I think our savior for this fantasy draft is gonna be the fullbacks here, because Patrick Ricard, I don't think he does much anymore, but he used to rotate in as a defensive tackle for this team, or for the Ravens, I should say. And you know, he was pretty good at it, so he's gonna be our #1 pick here. He's the most obvious choice. He's the one offensive player I can think of that actually used to rotate in on defense. So let's take him here as our #1 pick. Also at fullback, there are a couple. There is Nick Ballore, who used to be a linebacker. The problem with Nick Ballore, though, is he's 34, so we might take him eventually, but, you know, he's just gonna retire, like, immediately. But Jason Cabinda is another former linebacker at fullback, and he's only 27, so he is gonna be our second pick. I know, super exciting second pick, a 65 overall fullback, but work with me here. He has experience, and he should be decent. And now's where it gets a little more interesting, because I don't know what to do. And there's one running back here that I want to take, and we are going to put him at corner, I think, or safety, and that is Godwin Igwebuike, but he's not available yet, because he's not a high enough overall. Actually, he could be. I might have him at a 68. No, I don't think so. Okay, well, I'll take him eventually. But another, you know, either corner or safety option is Keith Smith. He must have been a corner or a safety at one point, because apparently he has, what, 70 zone coverage? Or 69. Nice. That's interesting. So he is going to be the pick here. And we are just living off of running backs and fullbacks right now. With our second to last pick that I'm going to show, we are going to go with Avery Williams. I'm pretty sure he was even a corner in the NFL at one point, and then the Falcons moved him to running back. Or he might have been a safety. I don't know. We'll play him at one of those two positions, so let's take him here. And once again, another shocker here. We are going to go with another fullback in Alex Arma here. It seems like a popular pipeline, you know, linebacker to fullback, which I guess kind of makes sense. They have kind of similar builds sometimes, but I do remember him as a linebacker, so we are going to take him here, and that is going to be our last pick. So I'm going to make all of the rest of these picks, and we'll see what this team is looking like. It's going to be interesting. But here we are now that we are done drafting, and you see it. We are a 76 overall. We have a 91 offense and a 59 defense. That's about what I expect. This offense is amazing and, you know, very deep because we took all of our depth pretty early. The only thing is, I wish we got a really good #2 receiver that's, like, still young. I guess we got Puka Nacua, who we can develop, but, you know, I was hoping we could get someone around Adam Thielen's overall who, you know, is still super young. But that's, like, the only problem we have on offense, and it's not even that big of a problem because that's fixable pretty easily. But the defense is something. I'll say that. It's maybe even a little better than I thought it would be, because we at least have some players in the 60s. We have Patrick Ricard at a 71 at defensive tackle. He looks pretty good, but I can promise you this defense is gonna play even worse than it looks, because my guess is we are gonna have maybe 1 total sack on the season. Well, I don't know about that. Patrick Ricard could be decent, but it's hard for like 78 overall guys to, you know, like 1 sack in this game, or like 2 sacks in a season in this game. Imagine like a 51 overall, you know, a 59 overall, a 61. It's not going to go super well there. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's just what I've seen from this game before. But our secondary is pretty solid. Keith Smith and Godwin Igwebuike at safety. I almost butchered that, but I kind of said it right. And then Avery Williams and Gunnar Olszewski at corner. We'll see what happens there. I don't know how we'll do, but hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know. This is certainly a team, I'll say that. And I guess, you know, once we replace all these players, I guess I could technically move them back to offense if I wanted to. I don't know if there's anyone here I would want back on offense. Maybe like George Fant, I guess. So it is certainly a defense, I'll say that. But you know, it's a better overall than I thought it would be, so we'll take it. But now let's get into the simulation of this team, and I have no idea if we're gonna be great, if we're gonna be terrible, if we're just gonna be okay, which is my guess, probably, but I'm kind of leaning towards bad because, you know, overall, I don't know, even high overall players don't play super well in this game sometimes for whatever reason. So we'll just have to see what happens. But let's get to the midseason point of year one, and we'll see how this team is doing. Hopefully pretty well. Okay, well, at the midseason point of year one, this is a certified Madden moment. We're 5-2, which is cool, and you would think we're putting up like, you know, 50 points a game and allowing like 45 points a game or something like that. But we only have the 10th best offense with a 91 overall offense, and we actually have an okay defense, number 16. We have a better defense than the Patriots. They're number 24 for points per game allowed, number 30 overall, and we're number 17 overall. What is this game? What are we doing here? Oh, well, no, I guess this was a fantasy draft, so it's not their actual defense in real life, but still, they have an 81 overall. That's a hell of a lot better than a 59. I mean, I won't complain about our defense being all right. It just shouldn't be all right, and our offense should definitely be better. Oh, we have an upgrade for Davante Adams. He'll go up to a 99. I guess we'll go deep threat, and we are already gonna have some players to re-sign, of course, and there are some kind of important ones. Joel Bitonio. I do want Tyler Smith back, but he's not interested, so I don't think we're gonna be able to get him back. And then I'm guessing like our entire defense is gonna be here, or at least most of it. Yeah, a good amount of it. So Joel Bitonio, we will definitely re-sign. How about 2 years, 37 mil? And he does re-sign. Trent Williams, he might just retire at the end of the year, but 1 year, 28 mil. He re-signs too. Tyler Smith, 4 years, 53 mil. That could become a really good deal once he develops, if he takes it. And he doesn't want to come back, but he likes the offer, so I guess we'll up it a little bit. And then everyone else, I mean, we'll just wait on, obviously. You know, some of our defensive players could get a dev trait and turn into, like, you know, I guess good backups, but we'll probably get rid of almost all of them after the experiment section is over and once we get into the rebuild section of this. But now let's get to the end of your number one, and hopefully our offense can get better. We'll see. Okay, well, in year one, we finish 11-6. Of course, making the playoffs. We're doing, or I guess we did better than I thought we would, for sure. I just, you know, I thought our offense wouldn't perform, and I thought our defense would be about where it is. I just wasn't sure if our offense could live up to, you know, expectations because of this game. But we did finish with a pretty good offense and not even too bad of a defense somehow. Let's check out the season stats, though. I'm very interested to see what happened. CJ Stroud was really good as a rookie, 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns. The 14 picks is kind of a lot, but really good completion percentage. Hopefully he can get the interceptions down, but everything else was good. Christian McCaffrey, 1,300 yards, 4.8 per carry, 12 touchdowns. Did really well. Almost 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns for Davante Adams. I don't use the Dolphins very much, so I didn't know how this offense would work, but it looks like it just does use the number one receiver a lot. But even Adam Thielen, almost 1,000 yards. Puka Nacua, 800 yards. Not much from TJ Hawkinson, I figured, and hardly anything from Christian McCaffrey in the receiving game. They would definitely use him a lot more in the receiving game if they actually had him in real life, obviously. But the O-line held up very well. Trent Williams wasn't great, 8 sacks allowed, but Deion Dawkins was really nice, only 3 sacks allowed at tackle. I'm surprised. Nick Ballore led the team with 106 tackles, 101 for Avery Williams at corner. Tackles for loss, 17 from Troy Hairston, 11 for Alex Arma, 11 for Patrick Ricard, and sacks, yeah, that's about what I expected. 5 from Patrick Ricard, which I figured he would be our best one there. Like I said, he was pretty good though. I mean, this isn't like a crazy season, but it's not bad for like a 71 overall. And then yeah, outside of him, 2 sacks from Alex Arma, 1 from Jason Kabinda at linebacker, a half a sack for Troy Hairston, 0 for Davis Allen, 0 for Steven Sullivan. That's fun. You would think they would at least be able to luck into a sack every once in a while or get a free rush, like unblocked, but apparently not. And then Gunnar Olszewski led the team in interceptions with 3. Not many pass deflections, but we'll take the picks. 2 for Nick Bellore and Avery Williams. Nick Bellore had a really nice season, low-key. And then 1 pick for Godwin Igwebuike. He also had 11 pass deflections and 1 pick for Keith Smith. There are some players that did pretty well here. Better than I expected, for sure. It would be interesting to see how this team would do in real life, though. I feel like the results would be very different. I don't know, though. Most of these guys on defense here have played defense in real life. I guess it's been a while for most of them, but it would be really interesting. But MVP goes to Josh Allen, now on the Jets. That's interesting. He joins a division rival. Tua on the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers on the Bills. They just trade QBs. Dak on the Saints. All right. These are always cursed. But Offensive Player of the Year does go to Devontae Adams. I'm kind of surprised because he didn't have like an insane amount of yards, but the touchdowns were definitely good. No other Dolphins. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett on the Chiefs. That's kind of interesting for them to go defense round 1 of the fantasy draft. At least I'm assuming they got him round 1. But no Dolphins up here, obviously. Offensive Rookie of the Year, unfortunately, doesn't go to CJ Stroud somehow. It goes to Rashee Rice, now on the Texans after we took CJ Stroud from the Texans. He's at number 2. Puka Nacua at 5. Another Texans receiver up here. They must have had a really good receiving core. And Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Ivan Pace, now on the Jags. No Dolphins, unsurprisingly. So definitely an interesting season. But now let's see who we're going to be taking on in the playoffs. We, of course, got a first-round bye, which is kind of surprising. You know, we won the AFC at only 11-6. Also at 11-6 were the Broncos, Titans, Steelers, and Jets, apparently. And like the entire NFC looks like they went 9-8. It was a very balanced league, apparently. But let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. That might be the worst record I've ever gotten a first-round bye with, but it is going to be the 10-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. We are only a 77 overall to their 83. And here's my big tip of the video. I've said this before. If you want to do well in Madden simulation, you have to have a good running back. It seems like they can just absolutely carry a team, even if you don't have like a great overall roster. That's why I picked, you know, in the wheel spin rebuild, we landed on the Colts, so I went with Jonathan Taylor because he's insane in this game. Not a chance I'm doing that in real life. Give me probably DeForest Buckner or Quentin Nelson or something. But running back is just so valuable in this game. So there's my tip of the day. Your mother loves my tip every day. I don't know. But we have a first of many scenario here. Gonna be the battle for Florida, I guess. I don't know if the Bucks are in the playoffs here, but no, they're not. So this is the battle for Florida. A little bit of different teams here, just slightly. It looks like the Jags have Max Crosby. They also were incredibly mid this year, it looks like, on offense and defense. It actually looks like they were kind of bad on offense and defense. Although they had 40 total sacks to our 10 total sacks. So don't know how this is. I don't know how this game's gonna go, but we'll see. Let's simulate it out and probably lose. I wouldn't complain if we did, though. Okay, we do lose 31-28. They did have the better overall team for sure. So hey, experiment portion is done of this. I guess the whole thing is going to be an experiment to see how good we can make this team. But I'm definitely happy with how this team did, considering it is only up to a 77 overall. So let's get into the offseason. Let's see if we get any dev ups, which could be huge. And let's try to make this a solid defense to go with our amazing offense. And the Super Bowl is an interesting one. The Broncos beat the Packers 28-21. I don't know how to feel about that one. It's an interesting one. But we unfortunately did have some retirements. The big one being Trent Williams, but Deion Dawkins did well. We have Zach Tom to start at right tackle now. So I don't know how they'll perform, but I would be very comfortable with that duo in real life, at least. And on defense, Nick Bellore did unfortunately retire. Troy Hairston got a dev trait, but he was our only guy that got a dev trait. I don't really think that's gonna matter, honestly, because, you know, he had like half a sack, but I guess he just got it for having a good amount of tackles for loss, which is, you know, I'd very much prefer sacks, but it is what it is. But for re-signings, I definitely want Tyler Smith back, especially now that we had a lineman retire. It's just gonna be hard to get him back, obviously. We'll offer him 4 years, 55 mil, and he does take it. Okay, cool. Again, that could end up being a really good deal. Michael Wilson, I like him a lot in real life, but there isn't really a point in paying him here. I don't think he's ever going to become like a super good player for us or anything. AJ Cole, I guess we'll re-sign. He comes back. Justin Tucker, he doesn't re-sign. How much is a tag there? 2 mil? Sure, why not? And Kyle Juszczyk, he didn't get drafted at all, so I just signed him because we only had 2 tight ends. He was basically a 3rd tight end for us too, so I guess we'll re-sign him. He's not very expensive. He comes back. And then that's it, I guess. So kind of unfortunate for all these players, but I don't feel like moving them back to offense, so they're forever going to be stuck on defense because teams don't know how to move players around most of the time. But let's get into free agency and let's see what we can do with this team. Normally free agency is weak in fantasy drafts, but it's still going to be valuable for us here. Devin Witherspoon didn't get re-signed. We might have to do that. I don't know if we can get him, but I mean, we might as well try. Oh my god, the safeties are they're not great. Okay, this is the worst free agent class I've maybe ever seen. The best QB is a 70 overall in Trey Lance. The best running back is a 76 in Leonard Fournette. The best receiver is Michael Wilson at a 75. Oh my god. The best lineman is a 74 in Andre James. This is terrible. So we're only gonna go for a few players. We're gonna go for Devin Witherspoon, Richie Grant. I don't know if we'll get either of them, but I hope we do. Joshua Williams and David Ojabo. There's a chance we only get Joshua Williams. I guess there's a chance we get nobody, but hopefully that's not the case. Let's see what happens. Everybody signs. Oh, okay. We get Devin Witherspoon, we get Joshua Williams, and we get David Ojabo. That's pretty huge. I thought we would get like 2 of those guys, and I didn't think one of them would be Devin Witherspoon, but we just don't get Richie Grant, and that's fine. I do want a safety, though. I guess we'll go for like Antonio Johnson, because he's young. He's not very good yet, but he's young, and he signs. So hey, we're already much better on defense at a 69 overall. Nice. But now let's get to the draft, and I think y'all can guess which side of the ball we're gonna go for almost every pick. And here in the draft, the Cardinals have the number 1 pick. I guess they stay poverty, unfortunately. We pick at number 27, and it's, like I said, it's obvious which side of the ball we are going to go for. What's less obvious is which player we're going to pick. It depends on who is still available. Ooh, okay, Chance McIntyre's still available. He looked pretty good. I'm always disappointed by these players, but, or well, like the good-looking late first 3-4 D linemen, I should say that, not just these players. That's pretty vague. But yeah, I'm usually disappointed after I take those kind of players, even if they look crazy. There aren't any good pass rushers still available at all. All of them went. And who did I focus scout? There was a safety, Elton Pierman. Oh, he's really slow. I probably should have checked first. He looks okay, maybe draftable in the late 2nd. Ooh, this linebacker, Aaron Thomas. What's his speed? Oh, 4.71. He still might be good. It's hard to say, I guess. But I do think with our first pick, even though he might not be great, Chance McIntyre on paper looks crazy. Elite strength, A, play rec, block shed, pursuit, tackle, B, awareness, power moves, impact block, I guess. It's funny they have impact block as a defensive rating, but I don't think it really affects their overall. It's interesting. I mean, it might if it's like really high or really low, but I don't know. I've raised it and lowered it like crazy just to test it out, and it did like nothing. I don't know. Either way, Chance McIntyre out of Boston College is going to be the pick here, only 22 years old, and hopefully he is decent. Normal dev, like I expected, but yeah, that might not be great. Man, these players always look so good on paper, but they never are for some reason. They just never are. And in the second round, there are still some maybe decent looking corners available. Dominique McFadden, I wish he was a little faster. He has really good jumping though. Do we want to go with him, or do we want to go with, oh, the safety we were going to go with is gone anyways. Okay. So he was probably pretty decent, but I guess we'll never know unless I check his overall after the draft, which there's almost a 0% chance I'll remember that. So I guess we'll never know. Tremont Weston, or Tremont Weston, however you say that, also looks okay. He skipped the combine, but he only has decent speed, poor strength. His actual ratings are good though, straight up. We'll take a chance on Dominique McFadden though, just because he has really good jumping and, you know, A press, B zone. zone. That's pretty nice. I don't know if he's great at all. I think he'll be like a 72, but I don't think there are any great corners still available. So let's take him. Another normal dev, unfortunately, but really good jumping for whatever that's worth. Almost want to trade up here, but I don't know what we would trade. Okay, we're going to be trading Jake Ferguson, a 3rd and a 7th, up to the 60th overall pick from the Rams. I don't know if that's great value. I mean, it's definitely pretty good, but we don't have many picks to work with, and, you know, that's kind of something we need right now, a lot of draft picks, but I do like I like the look of Tremont Weston. Should I, though? I don't know, but he skipped the combine. I mean, y'all know what that means. He's going to be great, and by great, I mean he's probably going to be a 70 overall and have normal dev, but hey, it's worth the risk, so let's take him. Okay, he has hidden dev, thankfully. 89 speed, 91 excel, only 48 strength. I don't know how to feel about that, but at least he has a dev trait, so I'll make a few more picks, and I will see y'all for the draft recap. Alright, well, this was a rough draft class. This might be one of my worst ever. Yeah, I don't know how, like, all A's and B's and elite strength equals a 73 overall, but hey, that's pretty fun. I also love how B power moves equals 70. Do you guys finally understand why I hate how the rating system works? I've explained it so many times, but I've had so many people be like, oh, well, fucking, I don't even remember what the arguments for it are. It shouldn't be the way it is, but it is. It should just go off of, like, a set system rather than based off the other players in the draft class, because if there's a weak class in real life, I used this comparison a couple videos ago, like the 2021 defensive tackle class. Those guys didn't go until later, and that was for good reason. Like, almost none of them have been good. I don't know if it was 2021 or 2022, one of them, but here those players would look good because, you know, you're just comparing those ratings to the other players in the class that are bad. So I don't know, whatever. He's interesting. Dominique McFadden is only a 70. Not great. He does have pretty good zone and pretty good press, but he just has the worst man coverage of all time, so that's fun. And Tremont Weston, at least he has a dev trait, but also he isn't that good. At a 69 overall, nice. And I just apparently loved picking secondary because we went with another corner and a safety. I didn't simulate those picks out because I figured if I did, the CPU would just pick like a 3rd string running back or something, or 4th string. So yeah, there were some okay players in this class, but almost all of them went before we could have even picked. Greg Wakefield went like 2 picks before we took our corner, unfortunately. I guess I could have taken him with the 1st pick, but he wasn't really on our radar because he was supposed to be like a 2nd to 3rd round guy. Unfortunate, to say the least. Oh wait, who was the other guy I was thinking about taking? It was a safety. Was he good? Probably not. It was Elton Pierman, and no, he's not that good. He does have hidden at least, but he's only a 71 overall. What does he have? Probably X Factor because we didn't get to take him. No, he only has star. Okay, well that wouldn't have been that good, but it would have been better than what we got, so unlucky. All right, let's get into year 2. I'm in pain. And here's a look at the team heading into year number 2. I don't even know if I mentioned that CJ Stroud got superstar dev, but you know, he did, which is very nice. He did a lot better than I expected. I haven't ever really seen him do super well in this game, to be fair, but he did pretty well last year. You know, a lot of picks, so hopefully he can get those down, but other than that, he was really good. We'll have to see how the O-line can do too. I mean, it did better than I thought it would last year, but now we don't have Trent Williams anymore, so we'll see. But the receiving core still looks pretty much identical. Most of the offense looks pretty much identical, other than, you know, Trent Williams being gone and CJ Stroud being a little better. And then the defense is almost entirely different. We're up to a 73 there, and I'm not gonna name like everybody here. We did sign some free agents that were just sitting in free agency, like Taylor Rapp, Ronnie Perkins, pretty much all of our linebackers. And we did get Trenton Simpson, who has star dev, so we'll take that. Hopefully we can develop him. I did think he was a little overrated as a prospect, but, you know, he's very athletic, so we could be able to develop him. We'll see. But the defense is looking a lot better this year, and the offense is looking, you know, about the same, maybe a little worse. So I can't wait to go 7-10 this year. It's going to be great. But with that, let's get to the midseason point, and we will see how we're doing. Okay, well, as I predicted, we are 2-5 at the midseason, and we are probably going to finish 7-10, despite having a better team this season. That, oh my god, this game is so bad. We only have the 11th best offense with an 89 overall offense and the 30th best defense, which makes sense, but our offense should be better. Whatever. We have some re-signings to make here. Ooh, so CJ Stroud already. This team is gonna get expensive quick. For some reason, I was just assuming, oh, hey, we're gonna get the full, rookie contract for CJ Stroud, but I forgot it's, a fantasy draft, so that's not gonna happen. It's not too expensive. 5 years, 196 mil. It could be worse, but that is, pretty expensive. We'll see if he even takes it. I guess we could do 6 years. That might make him want to take it more, and, I guess it's better for us. It'll be cheaper at first, and we won't even get to year 6 anyways, but it's more time to think it over. All right, cool. Puka Nacua, 5 years, 62 mil, and he takes it. Cool. Trenton Simpson will bank on the fact that he can develop, but at very worst, he'll be like a decent backup. 4 years, 9.6 mil. Nice, kinda. He takes it. And Zach Tom is a starter, but he's not interested. Oh, and he's doing pretty bad. Okay. Like one of the better pass blocking tackles in the league, I'm pretty sure, this year. That's realistic. Thanks, EA. And then everybody else is like very much replaceable or just a backup. Now does Justin Tucker want to resign though? 4 years, 22 mil, and he does. Okay, cool. We got our kicker back. Yippee. It's not like I would prefer to get the QB back or anything. But with that, let's get to the end of the season and maybe we can bounce back. We'll see. And here we are at the end of year number 2. And if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here looking at the team. I'm not going to plug too much here. Just be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what team I should do next or any fun rebuild ideas y'all have, because it helps me know what y'all want to see. But I have a little bit of an announcement to make. Either as soon as this week or next week, expect daily uploads to start pretty soon. They're not going to be fully daily. I don't think I'm going to do one on Saturdays just because I'm a little more busy on those days, going out and doing stuff. But yeah, expect a lot more rebuilds coming soon. And if you want to make sure you can catch those, be sure to turn on notifications for the channel. It shouldn't be too hard to remember that, expect a video every day around 2 or 3 Pacific. But yeah, turn on notifications because sometimes YouTube has a bit of a problem. And like with the Seahawks rebuild I did, I had to re-upload it the next day because it just wasn't showing up for me. It sent out notifications, but when I went to check on my channel, it just wasn't there, and it had like less than 100 views in half an hour. I was like, what's happening here? So yeah, YouTube loves me, clearly. But anyways, here is how the team is looking at the end of year number 2. I guess year 1 of the rebuild technically, but we'll call it year 2. Tremont Weston only has star dev, unfortunately. He was developing pretty quick, so I thought he could have had superstar, but only star. He is up to a 74 at least. And was that our only hidden dev? I think that was. That's kind of depressing. At least we hit 1, but still. But in year number 2, if you couldn't already guess, we ended up somehow making the playoffs, going only 8-9. I was only 1 win off with my guess of 7-10 for the season. But even being as bad as we were, we somehow made the playoffs. I don't know how. I'm glad we beat the 49ers in week 18, or else we obviously wouldn't have made them. But yeah, clearly something went wrong for most of the season. I have a feeling I know what it is, but we'll see. CJ Stroud was pretty good. 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, only 9 picks. He was better this year. I can't tell if he was better or worse or about the same. Less picks, but also less yards, like 1 less touchdown and worse completion percentage. So I don't know. He was about the same as last year. Christian McCaffrey, 1,250 yards, 4.9 per carry, only 5 touchdowns, but good season overall. Devontae Adams, almost 1,500 yards and, well, I guess it's not super close. We'll say 1,400 yards and 16 touchdowns. He was very good once again. Adam Thielen, only 800 yards and only 500 yards for Puka Nacua. I want to get him more involved. He should be next year, assuming Adam Thielen retires. And the blocking, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad outside of Zach Tom. Zach Tom is just terrible, apparently. He allowed 14 sacks from right tackle. I guess it is the position that allows the second most amount of sacks, but still. Joel Bitonio was insane, though. Only 1 sack allowed from left guard. We'll take that. And then Trenton Simpson led the team in tackles with 126, tackles for loss, 16 for Ricard, 15 for Jenkins and Ojabo, 13 for McIntyre, and sacks, 8.5 for McIntyre as a rookie. he's going to be up there for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm sure he's tragically going to get second, and I'm going to be super disappointed and depressed, but at least it looks like he had a good season. Patrick Ricard with 6 sacks and like next to nothing outside of that. David Ojabo as a full-time starting pass rusher got 1 sack in over 1,000 snaps. See what I was saying about around 75 to 78-ish overalls? Yeah, that's realistic. Love this game. Oh, and interceptions, we had 3 total on the season. We had 2 for Devin Witherspoon and 1 for Antonio Johnson. Maybe I made a mistake replacing all of our bad overall secondary players. That's really fun. I love that. But let's check out the yearly awards. MVP once again goes to Josh Allen, because of course it goes to a division rival. CJ Stroud at number 7, at least he's up there, we'll take it. Offensive Player of the Year unfortunately goes to Josh Allen. Devontae Adams at number 2. Defensive Player of the Year once again goes to Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Tyler Perrine, or Pirine. I always want to say that name Perrine, but goes to Tyler Pirine for the Raiders. And Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Chance McIntyre. We will take that. Tremont Weston at number 8. Okay, that's really nice. I mean, the big thing about him is he was a disappointing overall and didn't have a dev trait, but now he should get a dev trait and some XP, so we'll take it. But I don't expect to win this playoff game here against the Raiders. They have Patrick Mahomes, and we have a 75 overall defense, so that isn't exactly a recipe for success, but we'll just have to see what happens. We have a weak link scenario. Couldn't imagine what our weak link is. Yeah, it's the defense. Shocker. Deservingly so, though. I'm low-key surprised our defense hasn't done amazing and our offense has, you know, struggled, but, you know, our offense definitely should be better. What are we good at on defense? It's probably better to go with what you're good at so you can actually hit it rather than, like, you know, creating pressure and forcing turnovers, because we did almost none of that. I don't think we did anything well on defense. We'll go slow down the run because the Raiders might pass a lot because they have Mahomes. I do think the Raiders run a lot, though. Oh, yeah, they have the most rush yards per game. That probably wasn't the thing to go with. Oh, well, it doesn't matter anyways. We're probably going to lose. And yeah, we get absolutely smoked. I don't know if we should have gotten beat that bad. We couldn't put up more than 20 points with a 91 overall offense. That's fun. I love that. All right, let's get into the offseason. Fun times. And in the Super Bowl, the Raiders do end up winning it over the Buccaneers. That's a different Super Bowl team. I mean, I guess they have a completely different roster here, obviously. You know, I feel like their playbooks are underrated in this game, and that's like the only thing that matters in this game. So maybe we should try them sometime. Let's see, what were they good at? Were they better on offense or defense? Okay, their offense wasn't great. Neither was their defense. Okay, I don't know how they were a Super Bowl team. I mean, they had a worse defense than the 5-12 Lions, 5-12 Jags, and the best offense in terms of yards was the Steelers at 6-11. All right, this is certainly a simulation of all time, for sure. The best offense in the league went 6-11. That's cool. But we have 3 upgrades for Chance McIntyre. He already went up to a 75 throughout the year. So that is definitely looking like a pretty good pick now, even though it definitely wasn't at the time. I mean, it wasn't terrible. He was probably a 1st to 2nd round talent, and that's exactly where we took him, and he went up to superstar. He skipped star dev and just went straight up to superstar. Wait, was it supposed to give him Defensive Rookie of the Year twice? Why did it do that? Does it give players a dev trait for winning, like, the AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, for example, and then, like, the overall Defensive Rookie of the Year or something? Is that what it does? I don't know. I guess I've just never gone and checked, like, you know, what happens if they skip a dev trait and go to the next one. I don't know. That's interesting. I should know a lot more about this game, but I don't. Let's also check if we hit any other dev traits. I always forget to check that, or I'll, like, notice one and I won't point it out for the video for some reason. So on offense, no, we didn't hit any other dev traits, unfortunately. But on defense, also no, unfortunately. All right, that's tough. I mean, at least we got McIntyre, but that's it. That's all that we got. Fun. And now we have to worry about re-signing CJ Stroud. Will he take the contract if we just up the money a little bit? He might just take it if we offered it what it was before, because he just wanted to think about it, apparently. But we'll see if he takes this, and he doesn't. All right, so you are getting tagged. That's a very cheap tag, but I would prefer to sign him now before he gets, you know, even more expensive once he develops even more. Unfortunately, we can't do that, though. I wish we could continue to negotiate like you actually can with a franchise tagged player up until the deadline, obviously, but that's not a thing. And then everybody else here, I'm okay. We're good. How did Taylor Rapp do? I mean, I guess he's not interested, so it would be hard to bring him back. No picks and 2 pass deflections. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm okay. All right, let's get into the offseason. Hopefully there are some better free agents this year. There are a lot of running backs, I guess. There's Nico Collins here. Leonard Williams, Cole Kmet. We definitely don't need a tight end. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about Nico Collins with only normal dev. I wish I could give players dev traits in my, custom rosters, though. You can obviously do it in franchise. That's not what I'm saying before someone comments like, oh, you can just go into their player editing thing and change it. No, I'm talking about outside of franchise, in the roster creation. I wish I could give players dev traits because Nico Collins has been very good in real life, but he just doesn't develop here because he has normal dev, so that's tough. We could go for Rashad Bateman, though. I mean, he's been pretty terrible in real life, but he has star dev here for some reason. We do need a third receiver now that Adam Thielen retired. We definitely need a tackle. Would it be better to draft one or sign somebody to play tackle? Probably draft. None of these guys are great, and I'm sorry to the poor soul who's gonna pay Zach Tom like over 15 mil per year probably. Have fun with that. Ooh, Frankie Louvu, we could go for him. I mean, we could even sub him in as a pass rusher, obviously. Of course the Raiders are super interested. I wonder what team he's gonna sign with. Is Deshaun Elliott good in this game? Not great. He's better than Taylor Rapp did, at least. Von Bell's been doing pretty alright. He's been doing pretty well. He is older, but he's also a lot cheaper. We'll try to sign him. Might as well. Might as well go for Von Bell. I'm so white. I'm sorry. And should we go for Leonard Williams? He isn't that expensive. Pretty good in this game a lot of the time, too. Yeah, he had 11.5 sacks. How did he not get superstar dev? What? 16 tackles for loss and 11.5 sacks? We will definitely go for him. I know he's not going to do anywhere near that for us, but if he's even decent, that's an upgrade. This team's going to get expensive really quick if I keep just giving out contracts like this, but we need good players right now. So I don't know how many of these players we're going to get, but we are going to go for Leonard Williams, Frankie Louvu, Von Bell, and Rashad Bateman. My guess is we'll get, Bell and then one of these guys, but I mean, ideally, hopefully we get all 4. So let's see what happens. And we get Leonard Williams, Frankie Louvu, and Rashad Bateman. And okay, that's not what I thought would happen at all. Von Bell doesn't sign yet, and now he does. Okay. Well, that was interesting, but we get everybody there, so that's kind of huge. Oh yeah, we also have Darnell Wright. Maybe he'll do better. I feel like he isn't very good in this game, though. Maybe we could try Tyler Smith there or something. I mean, he was a tackle at Tulsa, wasn't he? I mean, either way, he has tackle experience. We'll think about that too. He does go down in overall there, but in the draft we are definitely gonna target maybe tackle, but definitely a power rusher and a safety. So let's get to the draft. But here in the draft we pick at number 19 the hey, I guess it's been 2 kind of poverty teams in real life here that have had the number 1 pick. I'm sorry Cardinals and Commanders fans, but let's be real here. But at number 19, unfortunately there aren't any good power rushers, which is the one thing we needed. The best one is Jermaine Burney, who is a 2nd to 3rd round talent, and I guess I could take him here, but that's obviously a reach, and I don't want to, the one thing you're not supposed to do in the draft in real life is reach for a position of need, even if they're not a great player. That's what you're not supposed to do. Take the best player available, even if it isn't your biggest need, unless you just don't need it at all and won't in the future. If you think there's a good QB and you already have a good QB, don't do that, but you know what I mean. Ironically, though, we might do that because I don't know if there is that good of a player here. Junior Leonard might be okay, but he's not very strong. He looks all right, though. Benjamin Richmond also looks pretty good. He has good power. Not very good finesse, though, and finesse is our scheme, so that's unlucky. Chris Griffin, great name. He looks terrible, though. He's a 1st round pass blocker that only has B pass block. Virgil Strickland might be okay, though. Really, 32 and 34 bench reps is only solid? That's kind of tough. He does look pretty decent, though. There are also these 2 insane-looking defensive tackles, but I'm kind of scarred from taking defensive tackles. And actually, Wheeler doesn't look... he looks pretty good, though, but his combine wasn't anything crazy. He only has D pursuit. LaMarcus Johnson has elite strength. 41 bench reps was only 3rd. Why? How? Oh, well, I guess it was was tied for second. Glenn Gordon had a really good combine. His ratings aren't that good though. Who is stronger though? Oh, they all have 41 and they're just tied. Also 41 bench reps also apparently isn't elite. It's only great. All right, whatever. I'm wasting time. Let's go with one of the tackles. Just kidding, I lied. I don't like many of the players here. Let's trade back a little bit. What a great trade that is. Trading back 2 spots in the first round for a 7th round pick in 2 years. God, I love this game. All right, well, this isn't much better, but at least this is something. Trading back to 26 for 3 and a 6 this year. That's really not, it's not great value, but it's something. It's better than just straight up reaching on a player. At least we'll reach on a player a little later. All right, we'll go for Jermaine Burney. This is going to be a terrible pick, I already know, but I'm desperate. We're doing the one thing I said you shouldn't do in real life. He's going to be like a 70 overall, and he's not going to have a dev trait, and I'm going to want to die, but we're going to do it. Okay, he does have a dev trait at least, thankfully. He has 66 change of direction. That's not great, but 82 speed, 83 strength, 86 excel. That's not bad. He doesn't look as bad as I thought he would. I just thought for sure he would have normal dev, but like I said, I was just kind of desperate. But now in the second round, are there any decent looking tackles left? I mean, if they're still left, it might be a bad sign. There's probably a reason they didn't get picked. Jared Martin actually looks pretty good. He's just not a scheme. His finesse doesn't look terrible though. Robert Van Dyke also looks pretty good. There are a lot of okay looking tackles. I just can't find a great one. Ooh. Okay, this would be technically another reach. This draft is gonna look terrible on paper, but hear me out here. Kendall Lincoln, which is what a weird name and what a weird way to spell that. But Kendall Lincoln has elite strength, 39 bench reps at the combine. He also had elite something else, elite jumping. I don't know if that's elite necessarily, but that is pretty good for a lineman. Pretty good. And but his ratings don't look insane. I'm just banking on his combine and that he's a scheme fit, which it's interesting that a guy this strong is a scheme fit for, you know, an agile scheme, but that's Madden. I don't know. I don't know if he's amazing, but I like the strength and he's at least a scheme fit, so let's take him here. Hidden dev, 92 strength, 81 jumping, for whatever that's worth. I don't even know if he's gonna start, but either way he looks pretty good, so we'll take it. And with our last pick, let's go with an interesting looking player who could be really good. That is Emmanuel Childress. He's 6'1", 287, is unfortunately already 23 years old, which wouldn't matter too much in real life, but it is very hard to develop players if they don't start at like 21, maybe 22 years old, but we'll see what we can do. He ran a 4.86, which is pretty good for a defensive tackle, 34 bench reps, which is pretty good for a guy that fast. And he has B awareness, B tackle, A finesse moves, A play rec, potentially good block shed. So I don't know if he's crazy, but he does look like good value, so let's take him here. Hidden dev, 87 strength, 74 speed, 83 excel. We did good with the dev traits, I'll say that. So now I might make 1 or 2 more picks maybe, and I'll see y'all for the draft recap. Okay, well yeah, that's about what I expected. It doesn't look great on paper, but you know, we addressed our needs, I guess. Jermaine Burney's a little better than I thought he would be at a 73. A second to third rounder is still a 73 overall. That's kind of crazy, but he looks, you know, pretty good. All things considered, Kendall Lincoln went down to a 71 at tackle. He was a 73 at guard, which still isn't amazing, but you know, it's better than a 71, which is unfortunately what he's going to be. Emmanuel Childress is only a 70. I'm really surprised about that. And then Chris Boston, I was thinking about taking him earlier, but he was still available. He's a 72 with hidden dev, so we'll take that. And then I simulated the rest out. The CPU took an all right receiver in Casey Hayden, no dev trait, but he looks all right. Was there a better tackle I could have taken? Probably. Benjamin Richmond was only a 72. Same with Chris Griffin. Junior Leonard, which I think was the one I was thinking about, is a 73, so I guess that would have been better, but we wouldn't have been able to take Jermaine Burney, so yeah. Virgil Strickland was a 74. Again, wanted to take the pass rusher though. And then the rest of these tackles are all a 71. I guess Hunter Carter is a 72, but he's not a scheme fit. Jared Martin's a 72, not a scheme fit. Robert Van Dyke's a 72, not a scheme fit. Okay, yeah, that was maybe the best we could have done there. Duncan Rowe actually looks pretty good too though, but yeah, not a scheme fit. Okay, though, I mean, that looks terrible on paper, but really that was about as well as I could have done if I wanted those 2 positions. But now let's get into year number 3. But here's a look at the team, and you know, it's pretty good. The drafting hasn't been ideal, but again, just kind of unlucky. Not a lot of great players that we could have gotten at those positions unless we were picking a lot higher. And you know, the defense is definitely solid now at a 77. Still not great, obviously, but it has a lot of upside, a lot of younger players here, so we should be able to develop it a little bit. A few hidden devs here in Childress, Bernie, and then this Verdon guy that the CPU drafted, Larry Verdon. I don't think he's gonna get much playing time. He's fast though, for whatever that's worth. He has 47 hit power too, so it's not great. He might even be a good corner. We'll think about that. But obviously the offense is still looking good. This is technically, I guess, tied for the best it's ever been at a 91 heading into the season. We still have to extend CJ Stroud long term, so hopefully we can do that this year before he gets even more expensive. But yeah, hopefully we can. And we're gonna start Darnell Wright at tackle. I mean, we have 3 potential options there in Darnell Wright, Kendall Lincoln, and then Tyler Smith. So if Wright sucks, we'll start one of those 2. But now let's get to the midseason point of year 3, and hopefully we are doing better than last year, but you never know. Year 3 is kind of hit or miss in rebuilds. All right, well, we're 3-3, which, you know, maybe that's fair. The Bills have the same overall team and are 2 wins better because we have the number 30 ranked offense in the NFL with a 91 overall offense. That's something. That might be the worst thing I've ever seen in this game. That's insane. Well, hopefully that gets better throughout the second half of the year. Is right tackle a problem for us again? Because we will definitely make some benches if it is. CJ Stroud's doing pretty well. Damn. I mean, not a lot of touchdowns, but hardly any picks, really high completion percentage. So yeah, it looks like it is probably the blocking. No. Other than, I guess, the tackles, the blocking is really good. Why is the offense so bad? Is it just playbook? I don't know. We have like 0 pressure on defense still. We have 2 total interceptions. Did I look at the defense thinking it was the offense? I mean, neither of them were good either way. No, yeah, 30th offense, 22nd defense. Skill issue. I guess I should build a better offense. I don't know. My fault, guys. But we will re-sign CJ Stroud if he wants to come back. I wouldn't necessarily blame him if he didn't want to, but 5 years, 210 mil, and he finally does re-sign, thankfully. TJ Hawkinson isn't interested. Same with Joel Bitonio. That's great. Joel Bitonio, 3 years, 78 mil. He resigns. TJ Hawkinson, 6 years, 82 mil. We don't have the money. We still don't have the money. We still don't have the money. It said we had the money. Okay, now we should. There's no way he takes this. We still don't. Okay, fuck you then. Whatever. I hate this game. I'm gonna cry. And then mostly everybody else here is just depth, so, I mean, we're not terrible, but how is our 77 overall defense outperforming our 91 overall offense? I don't know. To be fair, I expected that, but I'm still surprised by it for some reason. We'll get to the end of the year. I'm genuinely, like, lost. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say right now. Let's get to the end of the year, and hopefully things get better for our offense. Oh my god. Okay, well, in year number 3, we once again finish 8-9. We finished with the 16th overall offense with the 91 overall offense. That's cool. What offensive playbook do we want? Because that's absolutely insane. We could try the Falcons. I mean, are they only good because they have Bijan and running back is so broken in this game? Maybe. I don't know. We could also try the Bills. We could try the Chiefs, but where were the Chiefs? Oh, they were up there. We could try the Chiefs. I know that's lame, but we could. I kind of liked the Bills though, but I rarely use the Falcons. What do their stats look like? Is it kind of how their offense looks in real life, or is it just completely weird? Whoa, Mac Jones. All right. Oh yeah, dude, I keep forgetting. They don't even have Bijan in this one. They have Isaiah Pacheco. They use a tight end here, so that isn't super realistic. Yeah, let's try out the Falcons offensive playbook. In terms of points per game, our defense outperformed our offense, so that's, I mean, I guess we had like 0.1 more point per game on offense than defense, but in terms of rankings, I mean. So let's go with Atlanta, and what's their scheme? West Coast zone run? Not really. I mean, I guess I don't know what exactly you would call it, but I wouldn't describe it as that, but apparently that's what it is according to the game. Don't they still have the Seahawks at a 3 in this game or something like that? I don't know. Or as a 4-3, I didn't mean to say at, but whatever. Let's check out our season stats. Let's see what went wrong. CJ Stroud, I mean, he did pretty well, 3,600 yards, only 400 pass attempts though, 27 touchdowns. The picks were a little high with 10, 69% completion percentage, nice. Christian McCaffrey, 1,450 yards, or 1,464, whatever, close enough. 5.1 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, another 1,400 yard season with 16 touchdowns. touchdowns. Still, our scheme just hates Puka Nacua for some reason. Only 600 yards. He's the number 2 receiver now. I thought he would get more touches, but whatever. And Deion Dawkins was terrible this year, and Darnell Wright was pretty bad too. Joel Bitonio was solid, Corey Linsley was fine, and Joe Tooney joins the all-castration team for not allowing a sack in a season. We will take that. And Frankie Louvu led the team in tackles with 123 tackles for loss, 17, oh my god, 17 for Leonard Williams, and then 10 for Bernie and McIntyre, and sacks, 5 from Chance McIntyre led the team, 4.5 from Leonard Williams after having 11.5 last year. That's fun. And from our edge rushers, 2.5 from Bernie and 2 from David Ojabo. So that's our thing to fix on defense, apparently. But Bernie has developed a lot throughout the season. He does only have star dev, but I mean, he's a pretty good overall now. He's a 78. He should be doing better than 2 sacks in a season. And then interceptions, 2 for Witherspoon and Joshua Williams, and then 1 for Jermaine Bernie of all players. What is this team? What are we doing here? How does he get a pick, but Frankie Louvu, Tremont Weston, Von Bell, and Trenton Simpson don't, and Antonio Johnson. And then Trenton Simpson gets more sacks than Jermaine Bernie and David Ojabo. I hate to complain so much in rebuilds, but what is this? What are we doing here? Simulation is so bad. Kenny Pickett wins MVP. That's all I need to say. That's great timing. That's literally all I need to say. Oh, I just broke my chair. I somehow put my armrest down, but Offensive Player of the Year goes to Devontae Adams. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Allen on the Patriots now. Wish we had someone like that here. Matt Hills for the Patriots wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, a division rival. Why wouldn't a division rival win the award? Fun. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to BJ Thomas for the Chiefs. Bernie at number 4. I'm surprised he was even that high up, to be fair. So we still have some work to do heading into what is probably the final year of the rebuild, year 4. I mean, I'm doing all I can. We have a good roster on paper. It's just not performing, as is usually the case in this game. I also had someone in my comments questioning why I play this game if I hate it so much. I like football. That's the reason. I've said so many times, hey NFL, you should drop EA. You should make a different football game. I just enjoy football. This is the only game for football. I mean, there are like off-brand ones that don't have teams and like all that. I'm obviously not going to play those, and I don't even think they have a franchise in them or whatever. And they're obviously not as big. They obviously wouldn't do as well in terms of videos. So yeah, not going to do that. But anyways, let's see what we're going to do for the off season. And hey, maybe we made a good choice for offense, because the Falcons, low-key, might be the most broken team in this game. Like the most undeservingly broken team, I would say. Because the Cowboys are good, but at least they have a good team on paper, you know. The Falcons, they're not great in real life, but they're insane in this game, and they win the Super Bowl here over the Bills 31-28, led by Mac Jones, might I add. I mean, Mac Jones was good as a rookie, but he's just not anymore. He was pretty damn good as a rookie. I don't know what happened there. But for the rest of the players, we're gonna have to re-sign TJ Hawkinson. We can afford him now, at least. Did we have a retirement or something? We have a lot more cap space, but 6 years, 103 mil, and he doesn't take it. How much is a franchise tag? Only 13 mil? Absolutely. We'll do that. And then everybody else, we're probably good. Is Jalen Warren regressing at 27 years old? I forgot to change the regression sliders. If he was getting a ton of work, that would make sense, but he's the number 2. He's hardly getting used here. He shouldn't be regressing already. Whatever. Let's get into free agency. I'm in pain. I guess that's kind of on me for not changing the regression sliders, but whatever. It should also be a thing where, you know, if they don't get used as much, they shouldn't really regress as early. But in free agency, it's okay. I want Jordan Mailata, but we actually could be able to get him. I thought he would have, you know, bigger offers. I mean, he has a lot of offers, but none in the green. We're the only one in the green. There is also Michael Pittman, but he has a lot of, you know, full 5-bar offers, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get him, but I mean, we can try. Kyle Duggar's also here. Let's restructure some contracts. I want a little more money to work with here. We might as well. It's gonna be the last season anyways. Okay, well, here is what we're gonna do for at least the first part of free agency. This is gonna be our first attempt at some players. I'm assuming some are gonna reject us, but that'll give us obviously more money to sign other players, and we're gonna need to sign them because, again, for the millionth time, this is gonna be the last year, and I want to make this team as good as possible. We're gonna go for Jordan Mailata, Michael Pittman, Kyle Duggar. I don't know for sure if we'll get him. I don't think we'll get either of these guys, but maybe we'll get one of them. I don't know. Zadarius Smith, because we desperately need some pass rush rush. I get him a lot in rebuilds. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's really bad. It just depends on the day. We're also going to go for Rasul Douglas and Grady Jarrett. So, you know, hopefully we can get most of these guys, if not all of them. I highly doubt we'll get all of them, but I think we got everybody for the last 2 years except, like, who was it? Richie Grant. So let's see what happens. Okay, well, everybody signs, and we get Jordan Mailata, we get Michael Pittman, Zadarius Smith, Rasul Douglas, and Grady Jarrett. We do not get Kyle Duggar, and was he the only one? Okay, that's not bad at all. I wish we got Kyle Duggar because, you know, safety's a little bit of a problem, but that could have been worse. Actually, that might be a problem. There isn't really a good option here at safety. Is there like a linebacker we can move to safety? I know that's not super realistic, but I don't know. But I guess now that Kyle Duggar rejected us, we could go for Matt Milano. That's not a bad compromise. And Kaiser White, he was a safety at one point. I guess maybe we could go for him and maybe move him to safety. I don't know. Let's see if either of these two want to sign. We do get Matt Milano, so that's pretty nice. And Kaiser White also does sign. So this was a pretty good free agent class, I'm not gonna lie. Filled out most of our problems, at least on paper. How those players are gonna play is a different story, but at least, you know, we theoretically upgraded at those positions. So now let's get to the draft. And we pick at number 14. That's definitely not bad. That's about what I expected. I was a little disappointed at first, but no, that's about what I expected. So I don't know why I was disappointed. But what should we do here? I definitely want to look at a safe, obviously. It's just a big mystery who the best one is, because I didn't set safety as our focus position, obviously. Wow, Eddie Peel looks pretty terrible. I love the zone safeties that have C zone coverage. That's awesome. Honestly, none of these guys look good. Maurice Brock looks good, but he has pretty terrible play rec. Other than that, he looks pretty good. We might go with him. We'll see. Daquan Barkley also looks pretty good from what I can tell. Pierre Mackey also does look pretty good too. He might be the best one overall. We might think about Pierre Mackey. I don't know though. Daquan Barkley also looks pretty good. It's tough to say who's better. We'll say Mackey. Not a scheme fit, but he just straight up looks pretty good. He's not fast though. Barkley has great speed, but Mackey's better with like everything else other than I guess zone coverage, but he makes up for that with his man coverage. So yeah, let's go with Pierre Mackey here. I don't think he's great. To me, he looks like the best safety. I'm sure he won't be. Let's take him. He does have hidden dev. That's surprising. I thought for sure he was gonna have normal, but hey, we'll take it. Oh my god, this is the like 20th train I've heard today. I'm gonna kill myself. But let's see, is there another safety here that looks decent? Because it's still definitely a need for us. Let's look. Jawara, what an interesting name. There's some weird names that I have never seen before in these draft classes. Aaron Beecham might be okay. I guess it depends on what his pursuit is, but he's not the slowest box safety I've ever seen. I guess he's not like a pure box. He isn't like well, kinda. I feel like all safeties in this game are really big. Like, yeah, 5'9", 216. That's, well, crazy, but for that height, that's kind of big. Will Boyd looks pretty good. B man coverage, B pursuit, but that's like all that looks good about him. Kendrick Calhoun could be okay. I just don't know what his zone coverage is, and he's a zone safety, so you know that's kind of a problem. Chester Alexander looks pretty good, but he is a run support safety with only C to F tackle, which isn't great, but he is fast. We'll take him third round. I kind of like the look of Leo Boatwright, though. We don't really need linebacker, but he looks like a good player, so... Well, so does Trumaine Beard. Ooh, he looks pretty good. He's not as fast, but he has some pretty interesting ratings. All right, let's take him here. Trumaine Beard, hidden dev, only 21 years old, out of Oklahoma State. Sounds good. And now let's go with a safe. Let's take a chance on Chester Alexander. I like his speed. I like what I can tell from his ratings. I don't think he's great, but there is a chance technically. So let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. Ooh, other than his speed, he is a terrible athlete. All right, that might be a miss. Oh well, who cares? Let's get to the draft recap and we'll see how we did. Okay, well this was this was certainly a draft. I don't know if Pierre Mackey was as good as I thought he was. He definitely isn't. He's only a 74. Also, he's a better run support safety. Oh my god, he has 94 hit power. Other than that though, in terms of run defense, he doesn't look that good, so I'm surprised he's a 74. The plan was to move him to free safety. That's why I took, you know, run support safeties, but I guess he's a better fit at strong safety. I don't know. We'll figure something out there. What's the damage though? How bad was that safety pick? How good were the other ones? Okay, Barkley was also a 74, so no change there unless he had a better dev trait. Sims was a 75. That definitely would have been better if he has a dev trait, and he does. Okay, well, shit. And then Peel was the same overall. Golston was worse. I wasn't even thinking about him, though. Maurice Brock was a 75. I think he's one of the other ones. Well, he only has normal dev, so there was one safety I wish I took instead, but, you know, that's not too bad. We got, like, the second best one we could have gotten. Oh, maybe Crocker was better. Okay, yeah, okay, there were two. Oh, well, we did all right. There isn't much of a difference there. Tremaine Beard is really good, though. 75 overall will obviously move him to middle linebacker, well, where he'll probably go down, like, 4 overall. No, only 1 overall. Okay. And then I don't want to talk about these safety picks. Beecham is solid. We did end up taking both, but I don't want to talk about Alexander. At least Beecham has a dev trait, though. And the CPU took, like, a 5th running back and, like, a 6th and a 7th middle linebacker. That's cool. Not like we needed other things or anything. And here is a look at the team heading into the 4th and final year of the rebuild. We're still only an 84, which is a little surprising. We do have an 89 offense and 80 defense, so I guess you can also kind of look at it at an 85, like an 84.5. I don't know. Joel Bitonio, did I mention Joel Bitonio retired? Probably. But, you know, we have Tyler Smith there. That's why I drafted so many linemen, because I figured a few of them would retire. I thought Lindsley would retire too. That's why I drafted McCoy, but, you know, we didn't have to use McCoy. But our offense still is good. It obviously is regressing because it was older to begin with, but it's still very good, obviously. And then our defense is also pretty solid now at an 80. I mean, we don't really have any roster problems on paper, at least. Now, how this defense plays and how this team in general plays is a different story, but hopefully, I mean, I've done all I can. It's a good team on paper. Sure, I've made some questionable decisions, but I always make questionable decisions in rebuilds, so that's part of the fun of these. But now, let's get to the midseason point, and hopefully we're doing well. If not, we could look to make some trades. We'll see. Okay, I actually lied. We are not at the midseason. I didn't think that we needed to do anything at the midseason, so here we are at the end of the year. And of course, before I reveal how we did, you know, if you've made it all the way here, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. I wish I could speak. And I would just very much appreciate it in general. Plus, it'll help you see more of my banger rebuilds, and you might as well subscribe. Ooh, okay. But here's a look at the defense, and Mackey might have been the right pick. He has superstar dev. So, I mean, granted, I didn't know that, but if we went longer, he would develop more, but I want this video out today, so I don't have time, unfortunately. But I mean, I think this is long enough anyways, because in year number 4, we finished 13-4, and we made the playoffs. So the Falcons' offensive playbook, I might have to use that more. We finished with the number 2 offense when, you know, we probably have the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL in terms of overall. And then we finished with a top 10 defense in terms of points allowed. Let me see where our team ranks. Well, let me spend upgrades first, and then I'll see where our team ranks. We have 2 upgrades for CJ Stroud. He's become a stud. He hasn't had like an insane season so far or anything, but he's been like consistently good, so we'll take that. It looks like the Jags have an 86 overall team, which is interesting. We only have an 85. Did we not go up to an 86? The Bucks have an 86. So I guess we're tied for like the 3rd best team in the league, technically. I'm surprised we didn't go up to an 86 with those upgrades, though. Those were some pretty important ones. But either way, I mean, we have a pretty good team. I mean, considering it was a challenge rebuild, and we could only go with offense. Okay, but CJ Stroud finally had that insane year. 4,200 yards, 44 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. It's kind of refreshing to see, you know, a season like this, because in real life, QB play has been interesting. It hasn't been great this year. My MVP choice, even though, God, this is going to sound crazy, because I'm sure a lot of people think I'm a hater of him, but so far, Dak has been pretty damn good. He might be my MVP choice, even though I always complain about him winning MVP here, because it's not realistic, but hey, this year in real life, it's looking like this game might be right. I don't know. But Christian McCaffrey wasn't that good. I mean, he had a good amount of yards, 1,340 yards, but only 4.2 yards per carry, which is like fine. That's pretty good. Only 5 touchdowns and 4 fumbles. That's not great. I wonder what the most was. Could be up there. Okay, it was the most by 2. Yikes. Okay, that's not great. He wasn't great this year. But still, I mean, 1,300 yards is obviously good. It's just he got a lot of carries. And Devontae Davante Adams, almost 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns. He has been insane throughout this rebuild. He's averaged like 1,350, almost 1,400 yards a season and like 16 and a half touchdowns per year. He's been crazy. And even TJ Hawkinson, almost 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Pittman was good. I feel bad for Puka Nacua. We're just wasting him here, but that's just how it is. Jordan Mailata was pretty bad, though. The rest of the line held up really well. Lindsley wasn't great, but Dawkins was pretty damn good. And Tyler Smith. Those two are probably our best linemen. And then Matt Milano led the team with 116 tackles. Tackles for loss, 10 for McIntyre, Jarrett, and Williams. And sacks. Ooh. Jermaine Burney, 9.5 sacks, which is like the most we've had from a player in a season in this rebuild, which 9.5 isn't anything insane, but that's insane to me. That's much better than we've had. 8 for Jarrett. He was definitely a good signing. He was great this year. McIntyre was 6.5. Only 6 from Zadarius Smith, though. Yeah, he's kind of hit or miss. And then interceptions, 4 from Matt Milano. He looks like an amazing signing, too. 2 for Devin Witherspoon and Rasul Douglas, and then 1 for Mackey and Weston. We'll take that. And MVP goes to, well, I was talking about Dak, but now Tua's the Cowboys QB, and he wins MVP. CJ Stroud at number 2, though. I wasn't even thinking of that. That sucks. I mean, it doesn't really matter because he wouldn't have gotten the, like, XP from it until after the season, but still, it sucks. Also, wait, wasn't Aaron Rodgers the Bills QB? Did they, like, draft the Jets QB room? They have Zach Wilson now, and apparently he was good. Also, Mac Jones, again, was good. I don't understand this game. Also, of course, now that, God, I mentioned this in, the last rebuild? Now that Dak's doing, like, really well in real life, I don't see him as much for MVP anymore. I guess this one's an exception because, you know, he isn't the Cowboys QB anymore, and I think their playbook is just what does it, but no, I've seen him do really well on teams like the Commanders and, God, some other teams too. So, I don't know. But Offensive Player of the Year goes to Davante Adams, CJ Stroud at number 2, TJ Hawkinson at 7, 3 players up there. So, Stroud should win Best QB. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Max Crosby on the Jags, Matt Milano at number 9. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to DJ Harris for the Browns, and Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to David Brayton for the Patriots. I almost said Packers. Pierre Mackey at number 4. I almost said his name right. Not quite. Ooh, bars. That rhymed. Let's go. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. We apparently lost week 18 to the Jets 24-14, so hopefully that's not a sign of things to come, but let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. The 10-7 division rival Buffalo Bills. They are one of the better teams in this game, unfortunately for us. So this is going to be tough, but we had a better record. We have a better overall team by a little bit. They have Justin Jefferson, so, you know, the Vikings replaced Stephon Diggs with Justin Jefferson because Diggs went to the Bills. They traded him to the Bills, and now the Bills have Justin Jefferson, so I wonder who they'll replace Justin Jefferson with. I don't know. But let's simulate this game, and I don't think we're going to win, but I hope we do. We deserve it for all the pain this game puts me through, and we do, 38-14. I don't know if we should have smacked them like that, but I guess we'll take it, and now we're going to be playing another one of the broken teams in this game in the Las Vegas Raiders. Fun. They went 12-5. We are now an 86 overall to their 84, but let's simulate this game, and we'll see what happens. And we do win 28-23, thankfully. What I said about the Falcons applies to them too, though. Like, the Falcons, I would say, are the most undeservingly broken NFC team. The Raiders are the most undeservingly broken AFC team, at least in my opinion, for, you know, my rosters at least. Maybe it's different with the regular Madden rosters, but for me at least, that's how they perform. But we are going to be taking on the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. This should be interesting. We have a Super Bowl media day before we jump in, though. They're only an 83 overall, to be fair. So we should win this game, but what should happen and what actually happens are two different things in this game. But this is everything the Super Bowl is. This is the last game of our rebuild. 10 staff points, we'll take it. Oh, that was weird looking. That looked like the old Madden overlay. Oh God, I forgot. They just layer like the new franchise overlay over the old one, don't they? That's why it's such a laggy piece of shit sometimes. I think they do that. I think I remember hearing that. But we actually have a lot of upgrades here. So I guess it will matter that Stroud didn't win MVP, but it looks like he at least got upgrades for winning Best QB, and he is now up to an X Factor. He's up to a 98 with morale. That's insane. We'll take that. We also have an upgrade for Bernie. Did he get a dev trait? I guess he wasn't that crazy, so probably not. No, but he got an upgrade at least. And then Adams and Mackey got upgrades too. But without further ado, let's jump into this Super Bowl and let's see what happens. Hopefully we can get a win. God, without fail, this game just lags my PC so hard. But here we go in what I guess is probably like Super Bowl 61? I don't know. It could be even 62. I don't know. But let's simulate this game out and let's see if we can get the offense-only team, which has now turned into a pretty good team, a Super Bowl win. And we score first. We only get a field goal, but we are driving again and we only get another field goal. We need touchdowns, boys. Like, that ain't gonna cut it. We get another field goal and we have the lead 9-7, but the Cowboys get a touchdown. We need a touchdown here. And we only get another field goal. The Cowboys go down and get a touchdown, and now it's looking like it's out of reach as we unfortunately lose to the Dallas Cowboys 19-21. Our red zone offense fails us, and now we get beat by our former QB in Tua Tagovailoa in the Super Bowl. I almost called him Tua turn the ball over. That's disrespectful. So I didn't want to. But that is an unfortunate way to go out in this rebuild. But we had the better roster, and there's only so much I can do there. We were tied for the best team in the league by the end of this, even though we were doing a challenge, so that's really all I can do. But this is a very good looking team on paper, and I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, again, be sure to drop a like. It really helps out the channel. I know I've plugged this like a million times. Be sure to subscribe because once we hit 25K, we're doing something very special. And of course, let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all might have down below. But on screen now is probably a video that you will enjoy. At least YouTube thinks so, so feel free to click that. But with that, I will see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.